Last time on the Strings of Fate podcast, after a harrowing encounter with death made manifest in the hands and machinations of Rosanov Singe, the Strings of Fate were brought back to the moment of meeting her, where they were given a choice. Panicked and reeling from loss, they made a decision to try and get Singe to get them out, but were stopped by an interruption of an interdimensional being by the name of Estera, Vincent's tormentor. Estera tried to get things back on course to inflict suffering and tragedy on the strings using Rosanov's magical prowess, but quick thinking prevented him from doing any harm. Unable to get a full grasp on the body, Vincent, you pulled a small magical device that you had bought from the Witchwood Market, then used it to temporarily banish Estera to where you're not entirely sure. In that moment, where there was no active threat, Dresden took the opportunity to try and use the situation to his advantage to kill Rosanov and claim her title as the ferryman. As the regret began to set in from this action, however, of deceiving his friends, a spell that Azram had prepared kicked in, claiming Rosanov's soul for his own, and trapping her within a small silver cage.
Can I make an insight check on Dresden?
You certainly can.
Oh, well, what's my insight? Oh,
And if it's reliable.
it's 20.
Okay, it's 20. Never mind. Dresden is kneeling over the corpse of Rosanov Singe after this strange display of arcane magic. And reading his expression, it is the most unguarded that you've ever seen it. You've never seen the sort of softness where his eyes are wide and he is completely unsure of what just happened, what will happen, and for someone that lives and dies on whether or not he can plan ahead what the next moment is going to be, he is in a very precarious state as his head slowly turns towards the source of where that silver cage is.
Is she...
First of all, where was the silver cage?
You all follow the trajectory of the soul all the way into Azram's palm.
You like that one? You guys like that?
What did you do?
What just happened? I'm really confused.
I have her soul right here. What do you mean?
Her soul?
Michaela, if you'd like to give an explanation of Soul Cage.
So, Soul Cage is a spell that snatches the soul of a humanoid as it dies and traps it inside a tiny little cage.
Oh
my god.
Good lord.
Tiny.
Whew. Kind of a big one.
Yeah. So I have her soul now.
What did you do that for?
So that we could kill her?
That wasn't the plan.
I don't think I ever agreed to the plan. It's fine. We have her soul so we can resurrect her whenever we figure out what the fuck's going on.
That's
But
true.
now she's gone.
For now, yeah.
And she won't take any of us with her.
Okay, well, then we have the soul, so we can always use that for something. Right. So how are we getting out of here?
Nauna is collecting himself as he, moments ago, had been in the way of another disintegration ray. He's kind of just moving his hands, feeling himself to see if everything's still there, and thankfully it is. And Dresden's eyes are just focused on the cage in your hands. Unsure of what to say. Why did you... How did you...
What do you mean?
Did you know that I was...
I just figured that we were a little more on the same page about this one.
Vincent, and as he turns an apologetic look on his face towards you, you hear a soft clattering noise, just like as equidistant from Azerum and Dresden, a small mask has fallen to the floor.
Oh, goodness.
Dresden, does this mean...
Oh, God.
I don't know. He's looking at the mask. And from your perspective, you can't help but turn your eyes as... can hear it in your mind. A soft song that beckons you forward. And he hears it too. The question is, who's going to get there first? What do you do?
Wait a second. Vincent's like, hold on, think this through, everyone.
Is that the mask?
I think Azerum would reach for it.
Wait. Azerum!
Azerum?
God, you're gonna be the end of me.
Before Dresden can even sort of squeak out an answer from his ragged breaths, as you move, he moves. Let's go ahead and roll.
I could also try to cast Mage Hand.
You certainly could. This would be Dresden's athletics versus your mage hand, which I'll say is charisma.
My spell attack is +10.
Yep, that sounds right. I mean, I said what I said. I said what I said, and I don't take it back. Pretty high. What'd you get?
A natural 20.
No, fuck!
Stop it.
I got a 24.
I got a 30.
You see
My God.
Dresden and Azram's eyes are focused on this artifact in the center of the room. And you see Dresden move with a ferocity, an absolute full-body lunge, devoid of grace and filled with desperation, as a silver mage hand just pulls it right from his grasp and drags it into Azram's hand.
Wait, think about this.
You guys, Jesus.
You have the Mask of Penny in your hands.
Do you really want all of this?
I would think about it before you just put it on.
Okay. Well, we do need to get out of here. So,
Think about what that mask did to Rosanov.
I thought that Astera did that to Rosanov.
It's all of it combined. Power corrupts people. That's all it does. And the only people who get hurt are the innocent people. He looks at Ladara. The families that get destroyed. Think about it. Give it a thought. Please. I can't force you what to do, but I can ask you to think about it. I'm gonna look for that elevator. And I walk off.
What are you doing, Azram?
Bonk.
That's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice.
I'm gonna stay.
What would happen? Can you just tell me what would happen? Like, am I gonna, like, turn into a clown?
You're not entirely sure what would happen. You don't know much about what this artifact is and how it works. But I will say that that song that kind of echoes in your head, it doesn't compel you to put the mask on. But you do get a vague sense that if you put the mask on, that is the decision. And that decision will bring with it a lot of power. And not just a lot of power, everything that comes with that. It is a very tough choice and not one that you have to make right now. You are not being compelled to. But it is yours to make.
Do you guys think I could just hold on to it? I don't know. I think maybe I should talk about the bill first or something. I don't know. It feels like a pretty big decision.
I'm sure you can just carry it along and see what happens.
He pushes himself off the ground, wiping the dirt from his arms and legs.
As long as you two don't start arguing over it.
I don't know what came over me. And looks at you. It's your choice, Ezra.
I think we both need to clear our heads before we make a choice.
His eyes can't help but drift. He says, I agree.
But either way, we have it now.
He tears away his gaze upon this artifact and looks down at the ground. Let's find a way out.
Let's find a way out.
So how are you doing this? What are we looking to do in terms of finding a way out?
Is there any doors?
I was trying to like find the elevator where we came from.
The elevator is open. It it had opened at the end of the last trial.
Keep going.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Well, you can.
I don't want
look
to keep
around
going.
and see.
Yeah, let's check
we'll
to see
take
if there's
look.
like a reverse button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can someone hold the elevator?
Ding.
I would like to investigate the elevator,
I would
please.
like to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate.
The elevator is that same sort of pearlescent, clean and spotless, with that button plate that currently doesn't have any buttons on it.
No buttons.
However, Azram, as the mask is in your possession, despite not assuming the role.
Do you still have it in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Azram's gonna not let his little grippers off of that.
That's fair.
You feel like you understand how this works. And it's strange. It's not the full commitment of, being able to manipulate this tower and to change everything about it, but you at least know you can navigate it. As where they see no buttons, you see 100. Just ethereal on the button plate. And they lead you to numerous other trials, as you can see. They all have names that overlap with each other and are
Do
hard
any
to
of them
make
sound
out.
kind of fun?
Party.
Like, is there
pool
like
lounge.
a eating contest or something?
Hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, every ferryman gets to add at least one, and someone was just like, what if I did
One of them has a version.
all you can eat hot dog eating contest?
There's a version of Gerald.
Oh my god.
Just on one of them.
Roll some Constitution saving
One of them
throws.
just has goops.
Goops.
You're like,
You want to go to Goops
You
or
know, the
games?
Goops room. There certainly are a lot of rooms in this tower. But it looks as though there is one button that would bring you back down towards the lobby.
How convenient.
Azram, press. Is everyone in?
Wait.
Everyone is
I'm gonna go get Rozanov's body.
Rozanov's body.
Haul it over my shoulders and
Ooh, it's heavy, to be honest.
yeah.
It's still a
I'm
limp
dead
human
light.
being.
I'm just not strong.
It's okay. Auna helps you shoulder that. And
you,
says,
Auna.
Big
okay.
beefy Auna.
Dresden,
Big beefy arms.
Sorry.
Dresden just slowly walks his way to the elevator. And is fairly silent as you all look around.
Shit, what the fuck?
As
Fight the fucking table.
it's a new office, it's cool.
Gotta break this bitch in.
as they're walking, Ladar will probably grab Dresden's arm just a little bit, pull him back, and just kind of look at him like, "Are you all right?"
There's surprisingly no resistance, almost uncomfortably so, as his body just sort of stumbles for a moment.
Oh,
and his
hey.
eyes kind of vacant look at you as he shakes his head. I'm fine.
Okay. You can talk to me, so just if you need anything, I'm here.
He looks at you. His eyes aren't really focused. They're just looking. He nods. Thank you. Thank you. As he marches forward to the elevator, keeping a distance from Azram as best as he can. He's putting himself in the other corner.
Can I get a little inside check on Azram right now?
Sure. Azram, depending on whatever you want, you can roll deception or persuasion. And that's what they have to beat.
As I'm carrying Rozanoff and we get in the elevator, I give you a little side eye. I rolled a 13.
Oh, I probably beat it then.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want. What do I see?
Azram looks pretty cool and calm and collected.
Some may even say sexy.
Some would maybe even say sexy and cool.
Super
And
hot.
also, you think, has his arms gotten bigger?
His jaw is really looking very sharp today.
Yeah. And he ripped off the skirt, so you're seeing a little more leg than normal.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
And
Never really quite realized. I never really quite appreciated his thighs like that.
Yeah. And there's like a little bit of like soot on his face from the fight. You know, he's a little dirty, and he's got
Vincent's not picking any of that up.
but he is gripping onto the mask very tightly.
Okay. But
Almost
also,
like holding it close to him, honestly.
But Vincent is also seeing that he hasn't put it on yet, so that's a good sign. So we'll see. Who knows?
Dun, dun.
Ezra holds onto it. The elevator closes, and for the first time, you feel it descend. Going quite fast until eventually it just calmly stops, and the calmly the doors part in front of you. The sound of those hot springs and bathhouse sort of lobby, this luxurious place of rest of the Tower of Masks, is opened again, and the sounds flood in.
I'm just gonna dunk his head in a pond. Because don't they heal you?
Not fully immediately, but they would at least rest your weary bones for a moment.
Yeah, he's trying to clear his mind, so he's just
Quickly splashes water on himself.
Ladar's gonna take a deep breath. Just finally.
We're not out yet, though, I guess. So
There's that that big puppet, right?
do you want me to like grab it? You want a souvenir?
No, the one that's outside at the door.
Oh, I think it will be fine now.
Hopefully.
Anything else that you're doing in this room here, this lobby area?
I mean, is there anything of interest? Like, can I perceive?
This lobby area is set up to be sort of just like a nice big hot springs type area, a place of rest before these trials. Make a perception check, sure.
Until 23.
Wow.
You take a look around the room, trying to discern anything that could possibly be of interest. And there really isn't many places to go from here besides the entrance. There's no side rooms. There's no other chambers that are here. It's just this sort of circular chamber that wraps around this one large elevator shaft, and these trees and flora and these artificial waterfalls that have been set up. This place that looks like an opulent resort of some kind. But what does unsettle you is that climbing the walls, there have always been these masks. Each one's attached to the pillar. And there was always that sense of, being watched because of hundreds upon hundreds of vacant eyes. Now, it's not an uncertain feeling. There are eyes in the masks, and they are all looking at Ezra. You are the first one to notice this, as the eyes just follow his movements.
You've got an audience, Ezra.
Oh, God.
That's horrifying.
I wonder who's watching.
Oh, just get the fuck out of here, honestly. I can't be watched like that for free.
For free?
In this economy?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Honestly,
for
let's just get out of here.
You all begin to make your way out of the Tower of Masks. You see, as you cross that bridge over the void, you look back up and see the harrowing trials that in another lifetime you had bested. And you see that glowing light at the top of the tower projected outward through the mouths of the tragedy and comedy masks still hanging up at the top. Not the eyes. Because, as established before, both of those enormous masks are also looking down, following Azram's steps across the bridge, until you see the door, stood in space, no back behind it.
Thank God.
Do we want to check to see if the coast is clear out there, or?
I don't know. We're gonna walk out too.
Honestly, I just want to get out of here. I'm just gonna open the door. Everyone ready?
Carefully. Yes.
As best we can.
All right. And Ladar will try to open the door.
Azam's gonna kind of stand towards the back.
Aona readies quarterstaff.
Yeah, Ladar gets her.
Dresden and Eldritch Bolt.
Ladar gets her dagger out and is like, all right, 3, 2, 1, and...
It is silent on the other end, but not silent because there's nobody there. As you all open the door and see masks upon masks, filling the auditorium seats,
Oh, God.
and standing at their front, a spectrum of rainbow masks belonging to those of the Feywalkers that all stand at ready, their spellbooks drawn. And Cerberus, awake, lies in wait. As the door opens, you see them all tense. You see light, charge. How do you all walk out?
Close the door. Since season, he's like, oh shit. They're gonna kill us.
Azram might try walking to. Oh, you got. You want to
No,
do?
sorry, just because...
No, what do you want to do?
As she opens the door and is, like, looking in, she kind of, like, pauses before, like, kind of getting it past more than her head. She's like, I think we have an audience, too. And she'll just slowly, like, freeze and, like, slowly turn around and open the door. Azram, your friends?
Azram would walk towards the front.
Show them the mask. You have the mask.
You
Elbow him.
walk as the crowd of your friends part. You cross the threshold of the door into the big circus tent. And the rows this time are filled with an audience of masks whose hands all alight with a very familiar opalescent spell of force. Charge is around you, spotlight that just illuminates you fully. Before, in the middle, a Feywalker in a red mask. Their hand goes up. And everyone holds. What do you do?
Azram would like walk to the front with like a little bit of confidence, but I feel like the party would probably be able to see through it. I feel like
He's shaking.
his legs like trembling a little bit.
He needs some water.
Just dunked his head in a pond.
Did you drink any?
And Azram's gonna be like, stand down.
Everyone is very confused for a moment before they begin to each focus on what the Feywalker saw first. But before any of them respond to your command, the Cerberus immediately responds and moves around you, to your side and sits, turning on the merriment. The rest of them tremble at the artifact in your hand. Go ahead and make a intimidation check for me. With advantage because of what you have.
Intimidation is 21.
21.
I'm pretty good at intimidating.
You're surrounded by a myriad of rainbow, as in their tunics with their spellbooks prepared with chromatic energy building, ready to unleash on anyone that exited that door. They cannot. The spells dissipate, and as the Feywalkers stand down, the rest of the merriment stand down. The one in red is the first to approach. They look towards you. And they kneel.
Jesus Christ.
And following them,
Ladara's feed out her big head. Ladara's so angry. She's like, Jesus.
the others begin to kneel. In reverence and to beg for forgiveness. What do you do?
Azaram points to the ones with the colorful masks and is like, can one of you escort us back to the stadium, me and my friends, safely?
They look towards each other. The one with the red mask stands up and says, right away. As the crowds begin to part. You're not entirely sure what's happening. You haven't claimed the power of the ferryman yourself yet or put on the mask, but that mask holds a lot of power over people that don't know what it does. And so the crowd parts as Vincent, you come out carrying Rosinant's body with Auna. And Ladara, you follow Dresden, who just looks on at the merriment. What could have been? Hello, my name is Christian and I am the Dungeon Master for the Strings of Fate, and thank you for joining us for episode 64. Now, you may realize that this has been a long break between 63 and 64, and that's because a lot of things have happened. Part of the reason is we all got sick, part of the reason is because work and other outside life things got very, very difficult very, very quickly. But we're working it out, and we're coming back now with episode 64, and we have episode 65 recorded. I'm going to make this quick. Thank you all for sticking with us for so long. Thank you all for supporting the show, even in our little off area. I will say that after the end of Moonlighters, there's going to be a bit of a hiatus between this and the next season, and we're going to kind of keep communicating about that as we get closer to it. But for now, let's just get to our regularly sponsored ads. First of all, this show is sponsored by Dungeon Depths. Thank you to Olivia from Dungeon Depths for being such a massive support during this whole time. Thank you so much for all the work you've done for us. If you don't know what Dungeon Depths is, they are a one-stop shop for all of your Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPG needs, quality gaming supplies with character. You can find them at shopdungeondepths.com, and you can use the code SOFPOD, SOFPOD, at checkout for 10% off your order. We are also part of the Roll20 Creator Program. So thank you, Roll20, for sponsoring the show and for giving us some visibility every now and then. Roll20.net is a great place to go if you are looking to start playing TTRPGs online with your friends. It acts as a virtual tabletop, so you can check them out at Roll20.net. This show is also sponsored by you on Patreon. This show incurs a few costs, and Patreon helps to cover those costs, as well as helps us to invest in upgrades and future improvements to our show, microphones, furniture for the studio, etc., things like that. We also have a $10 tier on Patreon that we read names from, so I would like to take a moment to read these names out and thank some of our patrons. Thank you to Courtney, or Kiki, Kaleviv, Ankhefenra, Jess, Alyssa, Cait, and Kim. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Also, lastly, thank you to the mods of the Softquord. They were actually a huge support, keeping up running the Softquord while we were all down and out with illness. They also sent us a very lovely gift package that was arranged by Carissa in Dungeon Depths. It was a really beautiful thing that brought a tear to my eye and many of the other cast's eyes as well. Anyways, I'm sorry if the mic quality on this one is a little difficult. My microphone's been acting up lately, so it might not sound as good. But thank you all for sticking with the show. We are going to finish out this arc strong from here on out, so please stay with us till the end. Thanks so much. Where are you headed?
Back to the stadium.
Can we try to find Deville on the way?
Isn't Deville's probably still there?
Did he go
Deville
back?
is was heading back towards the stadium, so
We
he's still in
don't
the
know
Witchwood
now.
Market.
We don't know
Oh, how
where
much
he
time
is.
has passed? Do we know?
After the first trial, so it hasn't been extremely long. I'd
It's after
say
the
like a
second
few
trial, right?
hours.
So
No, it's after the second trial, but that didn't take incredibly long. So it's only really been a few hours since Deville kind of separated off from you all. Which I guess
Who knows if he remembers what happened? Now the time.
we'll see.
Time warp. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we'll head back.
You all begin to march your way through the Witchwood Forest, down the winding path, the Feywalker leading you all with a group of merriment off in the woods on either side, protecting you. And as you begin to approach the main thoroughfare, you hear sort of off from the side, suspicious individual detained, sir. As you hear a scream from the forest, "Get off me! I'm used to being an adventurer, you know. I can really, even though I'm a caster, I can still beat you." He's trying to. You hear Deville's voice rising up.
Azrim's like, bring them forward.
You see in a flash, there's like and a merriment member appears with Deville, like by the shoulders. It says, what would you say? He's just like, "Let me go. I've done."
Suspicious individual indeed you've caught there.
Azram. Harley comes
What?
up and is like, Azram,
Here
come
we
on.
go.
What shall I do with this one? Detain him?
Azrim.
And the Feywalker says, "Any threat to your safety will be dealt with." As a spell begins to charge.
Azrim's like, I can handle it. Put him in my care.
Oh my god.
Oh, you were gonna care about him?
Are you serious? As you wish. They sort of push Deville forward. He's like, ow, okay. Oh.
Sorry, I thought.
What?
Jeez.
Hey!
We have a lot to talk about.
Hey.
I'm carrying a dead body.
Are we safe?
Yeah, we're safe.
You know, we really should probably get somewhere safe, like safer than like the woods.
Is that? And points towards you, Vincent.
It's
Definitely a dead body, yeah.
Yeah, she's dead.
Do you remember?
His face turns very somber. I do. That's why I came running. Let's talk later. You all process through the woods, into the main thoroughfare, into the Witchwood Market, where everyone's eyes are on this large procession of merriment troops who, before you are fully able to exit, they give you a cloak and they say, please put this on.
Do you have enough cloaks for everyone?
This is simply to obscure your identity. It's a precaution that the previous owner of the mask took.
Azram will take the cloak.
From the outside point of view, Azram, for a moment, it's strange. It's as if Azram is constantly in the periphery of your vision. But you can't look directly at him.
That's terrifying.
Horrifying.
A dream come true.
Completely imperceptible in this crowd as you all make your way
Heart
through.
is like peace. Jesus Christ.
Oh, thank God. Honestly, it's getting to his head already.
No.
Despite this, there are still gasps and wonders as to what this is. And I don't know what you do with the body of Rosenov Singe, if you cover it or if you parade it. You don't have to.
I would like to cover it if I can.
Okay, yeah, that's completely reasonable. Cover this dead body of
Like
this
her
very...
face at the very least.
Yeah, it's only respect. Yeah.
Everyone is very confused as to what is happening and why, if there's something about to go down. Where are you headed exactly? Where do you want to go?
To our room.
The stadium. I want to go to our room in the stadium. Because didn't we have like a private box or something?
You did have a private box there, yeah. You are led through the marble hallways of that purple stadium. The snag race is still going on the screens. It looks like it's coming to the end of at least the first like semifinals of the races. The next race is meant to take place tomorrow, but there is a procession of merriment that is leading you and your group. Maybe not every last member, but a large enough thing for people to notice that there is a procession making their way. They shuffle you into the elevator.
There's so many of us.
Oh. There are... Okay, continue. There's confusion. But the Feywalker speaks with confidence as you begin to rise. He clears his throat. He just... The previous owner was in the midst of a meeting when they became unreachable. I'm not sure what you know of the role you are inheriting. But if you would like, I can reserve that meeting for you. They are, in fact, very important clients.
What? Who? And what's... Who is the meeting with?
There's hesitation in his voice of disclosing this information to somebody, but you can't see this, but his eyes can't stop focusing on that mask and the pressure it exudes on him. It is business the previous ferryman was conducting in terms of a weapons and research exchange with the Farron principalities. The first legatus of the Farron army had agreed to postpone the meeting until the previous owner was not indisposed.
Tell them the meeting's still on.
Oh my god.
Michaela! All of us are like, okay, we're not deciding anything.
No, I just want to tell the dude to fuck himself, you know?
Very well. The door opens to the VIP lounge as you drag a dead body through it.
Yeah. Oh my.
There's a meeting right now.
The meeting will continue at your earliest convenience.
Okay. We're not like about to walk into that.
No. Not right now.
I'd be like,
I was like,
Certainly
I'm
not right
rest.
But the Feywalker does a bit of a salute as you begin to make your ways down the aisles, past the nobles cheering, this point sloshed, drunk, destroyed on whatever meat and snail slime they could find, extravagant food going to waste at their table as they just cheer on their whoever they bet on. You find your booth. They don't even pay much mind that there is somebody that looks unconscious but is almost certainly dead being pulled through this area. They're too preoccupied on the race, the brutality of it all, till eventually you reach your booth and are able to lay Rosanov down, pull up chairs, and reconvene for a moment.
God damn.
What did you do? What is this?
Dresden killed the ferryman.
I surmise that something along those lines happened. This, and unless this is an unfortunate ally that has fallen alongside you that you'd met in the past few hours, is this? He kind of points at Rosanov, who's just lying in the booth.
Yeah, I'll try to like
prop her up or
I'll
Lay her
lay her
down.
down.
yeah.
We have her soul so that we can resurrect her, but there was something that she had a pact with and that we were trying to get away from, so
It was all my fault. Someone who was trying to get at me, and they used her. So
She was basically corrupted.
Phil shakes his head. That what happened? When I died, that was real.
Yeah.
And yet, here I am.
Here we are.
And you know this. You know I died. You saw that.
yeah, it's like the first time it happened.
I know it's very similar to the meeting, but far more intense. That in the meeting we watched others die, but this I, and then Aona and Dresden look at him. Huh. Are you all right?
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It was strange. In a moment, I was gone, adrift. Sharp pain and then nothing. But I'm back, And it didn't last quite so long. I wanted to find you to tell you I was okay. That wasn't your fault.
I just didn't want it to actually happen again.
And he gives you a hug. And he says, it's not. And it hasn't. It hasn't. He sort of pulls back, says, we'll talk about this later. Let's decide on our next move. What? The ferryman is dead.
Yeah.
But not quite because of Azram.
Basically, I think that this, and Azram holds up the mask.
Deville grabs your arm and just slowly puts it down to the table as he looks around at all the prying eyes of the nobles who are now starting to take notice. And
whoever puts this on, I think, becomes the ferryman next.
This is why, even after disposing of the leader, you were led here with basically a red carpet.
Yeah. But I'm kind of scared to put it on.
I think that's a good feeling. I think that's a smart one. I have no idea what this does and what will happen if you do. It seems that just having it brings enough strength, influence to command any of the merriment.
Azram looks at the mask for a little bit. Then he's just like, you think if I put this on, I could do it? That I could beat him?
What? Azram, you're talking about possibly trading your life for what? You mean? He sort of points upwards towards the top floor where all of the special guests of the ferrymen are gathered to take a shot at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been through far too much to throw ourselves at this fight. Now, especially, it's only a matter of time before they realize that you just have the mask. We haven't put it on, and that's true, but he looks around at all of you. What's going through each of your minds right now? What's going through everyone's mind in this current situation? What do you think your end goal is at the moment?
Ladar is kind of vacant. Not a lot of emotions being shown. Not a lot of light between the eyes. Not a lot going on. Except she's shaking a little bit. But she is thinking that it's an overwhelming situation. And she really hopes that Azram doesn't do it.
Okay.
Vincent's a little overwhelmed by a lot of bad emotions. I think he's like feeling that like crushing guilt of like knowing that people forgot him, and then coming to the conclusion that the reason that they were all hurt was because they remembered him. On top of like Azram and him like bumping heads, and him wanting Azram to do the right thing because deep down like he cares about him, like they're friends, and he thinks that he's a good person, but he's worried that power is gonna like corrupt him. And he just saw what it was like to have somebody who wanted power to like have the mask, and then like they needed something from Vincent to be more powerful, so he just worries that if Azrim knows that would make him more powerful, then Vincent would become a target. So he's just sitting there like, I really hope Azrim does good things. I really hope he makes the right decision.
Azrim, that leaves you. How do you feel?
I think that Azrim is really conflicted because on one hand he wants, obviously he wants the mask and he wants the power that comes with it, but he doesn't really know what it entails. Mm-hmm. So he's like a little worried, like, is it, if it's going to like tie him down here or what, what it would, what the responsibility would entail. But he knows that he wants to make sure that whoever puts it on, if it's not him, is like someone that he thinks will do good with it. And so that's kind of why he's like holding on to it, because he wants to make sure that
whoever has it.
Yeah, but he also is still thinking about putting it on. Mm-hmm. It's like he's very split.
It's fair.
But he also trusts himself. He thinks that he's convinced that, the problems with the ferryman last time was just bad intentions, and he thinks that his intentions are good enough that he could control it,
That's pretty powerful. It is it's a powerful train of thought.
I wonder what would happen if we would just destroy it. If there was no new ferryman.
The option is there, but we don't know the consequences of putting it on, much less releasing whatever power is inside of it. We can take time. There is no more plot with just having the mask. The point of this was to save Ladara's friends. I think we can do that.
I kind of want to go to the meeting.
With your father?
Yeah.
Our eyes kind of widen as he looks up at you, listening to the words you're saying, what you're suggesting. And Dresden's the one to speak up, as he says. Will you fight him?
No. But I want him to know that I'm stronger now. I almost want to rub it in his face, Like, look what I got. Dad.
Look what I did, Dad. You beat me down.
Do you know if he'll fight you? What he'll do?
No, I don't.
It's a risk.
But if I have the whole merriment behind me, I feel like he might not.
Also a possibility. I'll come with you no matter what, Justin says. As he has a small smile.
Deville's like...
What are you encouraging? I don't suggest doing so. Just, you're hurt. You're all hurt, exhausted. That's quite dangerous. Jasmine says. If he doesn't pick a fight, we won't pick a fight. That's what I'm trying to say, is we can't guarantee he won't.
Might start a war. Doesn't he have a whole army behind him?
That's the first. And this entire time, on his hands have sort of moved up to his ears as he's just trying to block out the noise for a moment. The noise of the slaughter on the screens, the cheering of the nobles, the cheering that fills the entire stadium.
Can I offer him my headphones?
Yeah. He's sort of
Just
eyes shut.
wordlessly.
His hand is over his ears. He's trying to block out the noise until he notices that you're that you are,
I sort of just
offering
like
something.
tap him on the knee and then hold it out.
He takes them and he looks at them.
The little flower ones.
Yeah, he's holding these two beautiful flowers. This root that has been fashioned into almost like headphones, though he's never seen anything quite like it.
I point to my ears and I go, it might help.
You see him place them over his ears, and you see the petals gently curl over his ears. And he begins to breathe slower. Azrim, it is your decision fully. I'm giving you NPCs that have their own opinions on this. Dresden will follow you up there, and he will have your back. DeVille will also follow you up there, but he is very much against any kind of confrontation that would end in a fight. DeVille looks at you one last time and says, I will support you. Whatever you do, I will be there by your side. I trust you.
Azrim, I trust that you'll make the right decision. I really, truly want... Wow. No, that was just really funny. I truly want what's best for you. So, I've got your back. This time and every other time. But if you do something stupid, I guess I'll help you clean it up.
Me too.
Azrim's hands are shaking a little bit, but he's like, yeah, I'll do the meeting.
You see across the stadium, merrymen are moving fast, collecting, trying to figure out exactly what has happened, getting information late. It transfers all around. You can feel a buzz of something gone wrong. And it's strange knowing that you're the source as you stand.
I don't know if all of us have to go. I don't want you guys to have to go if you don't want to. I also don't really know what to do with her.
I'll nod.
Anna looks up. He looks over. Pulls one of the earbuds off.
She'll kind of look at Azrim. I don't know if...
Do you want to be there, Anna?
I can't.
It's
You don't have to.
Can't.
We can just stay out, and we'll go out somewhere. Okay?
Can you look after her?
I can look
We'll
after
stay
it.
here, and we'll look after it.
Okay. Do you want me there?
Yeah.
He nods.
Okay, but you two better come back, okay? You have to come back.
Worst case scenario, I'll just put this motherfucker on and bippity boppity boo our way out, right?
I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen.
And
Worst
don't leave
case
out any
scenario.
details, okay, when you come back.
Okay.
I want a full report. And
Yes, ma'am.
And she kind of has like tears in her eyes. Just come back. That's all I ask.
All right, Captain.
If you share a look, you have lost each other far too many times. As you all turn and begin to make your way to the elevator. The Feywalker stands there. As you approach, they nod and open the doors for you as you are brought forward, and there is a button that was not previously there. The Feywalker just high up into the guests of the ferryman. You are brought immediately to a floor devoid of cheering, devoid of nobles debasing themselves on good times and the suffering of others. And you're instead brought to a floor that is guarded every inch of it by merriment soldiers that march silently to their destinations, that disappear in several other places. And as you arrive, they stand at attention against the walls, against the pillars that look out upon the stadium itself. You are being led down a hallway after explaining the situation to the Feywalker, until you are stood in front of two well-carved wooden doors. You can see these beautiful displays of flora and fancy engraved onto the door itself, gilded doorknobs and ornament. What do you do?
You ready for this one?
Yeah. Make sure I don't do anything too dumb, okay? Sometimes I do dumb things, and this is a big thing for me to do, and I really can't fuck it up.
What are you planning to do?
I just want to talk.
Well, then, just talk. You're good at that.
Adam takes a big, deep breath and is like, okay, here we go.
Here I go. There's no turning back. Is it the four of us? Me, you, Dress, and Deville?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
Okay.
Is there anyone else there?
The Feywalker is going to be accompanying you for this meeting.
Okay.
Dresden and Deville are there.
Cool.
You have a Feywalker guarding you. And the room itself is stationed with merriment, three on each side of the room, up against the walls, up to the corners.
Cool.
The doors open, and rushing past them, you feel a storm. Wind that chills you to the bone, that calls forth every horrid memory of that terrible man. He stands at the far end of a long conference table, in front of a mantle where numerous masks decorate the wall of a roaring fireplace. And sat in a chair still at the conference table, there's only one other individual besides him. A younger man with long, straight white hair tied backwards, in garb similar to the one you used to see Auna wear. He leans back like this, just staring forward and smiling as you hear a voice boom outward from the other end of the corridor. His back still turned. It is impolite to keep business partners waiting.
My deepest apologies.
At once, his head turns up, turning to the side so that one eye can confirm the voice he's hearing.
And a smile raises on the face of the man sitting at the end of the table. And a deep grimace takes his father's face. Most unexpected. He pushes himself up, his hands against the table, turning to look at you. There you are.
Here I am.
You hear chains drop as from his garb to sickles connected to chains. Just
Azram holds his hand up.
the merriment around bring their spellbooks up and point and direct magic.
I wouldn't move so fast.
Your father faces the north wall, turning his back to you. I see. The circumstances of my meeting today have changed considerably, I suppose. Though, this is quite a surprise. I had assumed Awana failed in his mission. Though I sense he's still alive.
His mission isn't quite done yet.
He looks towards you from over his shoulder.
Are you too scared to face me?
Once more. You waste my time. He just sighs as he looks upward. Did you come to wave your newfound power before me? To try to intimidate?
I didn't come here for you. I came here for myself. Believe it or not, I don't live for you. I don't live for you at all. I don't live to serve you, to be your son, or to kill you. And I could use all this power I have right here to maybe flaunt it in your face or maybe even take you down. But I won't.
He's silent for a moment. You can hear this from outside the stadium as storm clouds begin to apparate. Your ties to this plane have made you weak. You may hold power, but the refusal to use a power that you cannot control, that is not strength. He turns and looks at you. I would rather we clash here and now. Because despite your words, I can still feel your heart beating.
Well, First Legatus Usu Essen. What a surprise it was for me to find out that you were so powerful. We're not clashing today. My heart is beating, yes, but more with excitement. The idea that even if you don't believe it, one day I will bring you down with my own strength.
Deville, his hand is on his spellbook, and he's composing himself as much as possible. And Dresden shows no signs of hesitation. His hands tracing a spell over and over and over again, just ready to release it. There's tension as you see the younger man's eyes scanning the room, counting the opponents, thinking about how far he would get before being run through with an errant spell or sword. But he's considering it as he smiles and licks his lips.
Freak.
The chains dangling from his arms.
I'm gonna put my hand on Azrum's shoulder as a reminder.
Azrum takes a big breath. I wouldn't get too crazy. First Legatus, you do still have somewhat of a reputation to uphold principalities. Is that where you reside? You wouldn't want to mess up all your chances at all. The deal's on the table here with the ferryman.
Cyril sits, holding on and just dangling the sickle by the chain. Yes, Father. Then he smiles. Sue looks.
Well-trained dog you have there.
No way to speak to your half-brother.
Do you think our blood relation means anything to me? I have a brother.
How is he? I suppose he feels great shame, being so traitorous and weak.
I think the only shame that we both feel is being your son.
To pursue this is a foolish endeavor. But our time here is finished, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe you should head back.
Cyril, remain in the city. This mortal, stained scum. That power is too much for him. And I am sure we will have chance for negotiations for the true ferryman that takes his place. You see the storm clouds just kind of... You can hear them gather overhead. You aim to bring me down? I welcome it. Try, as so many other of your siblings have tried. You will end up like them, mortal, fallible. A stepping stone for the true heir of the Tempest.
Have you ever thought that maybe I am the heir of the Tempest?
My heart does not beat in your chest.
Maybe you're the problem. A couple failed attempts. We'll see how far I get.
You see you draw a heavy halberd, a spear with the head of an axe, before stomping it to the floor, and in a flash, electricity and wind. He is gone. And Cyril remains. Powerful words, truly. Though, it seems our business is over here. And as much as I would love to turn this room into a bloodbath, I'm on business. He begins to walk towards you. The merrymen still gathering, holding spells. Till he walks past you. As he's behind you, making his way to the conference door, I'll see you around, I suppose.
See you.
The door's shut behind him. Tvil releases a huge breath.
Azram's legs start shaking a little bit. He just kind of wobbles to the ground.
He picks you up and he just holds you. He says, it's okay. You did very good. Oh my goodness. Were you thinking of that on the spot? Or you...
I blacked out.
God, they just look so flammable, you know? Like, I just... Oh, my God!
Honestly, I would have loved to give the big one a try.
Okay. I think that went well.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. You think that I got the point across that I'm gonna kick his ass and I'm not scared anymore?
You did. You did.
Okay.
You were very brave.
Woo!
Okay, let's head downstairs.
That one guy, he's gonna still be here. They're gonna come after that, I think. And he points to, like, the mask.
Not if someone puts it on first.
Let's talk about that later. And he says he looks around at all the merriment members. Why don't we leave this place? The market, anywhere with merriment controls. Get some privacy.
To the inn, maybe?
Yes.
Sleepy sheepy.
Wait. If we go... I need to find Renera. I have to.
Do what you must. I'm sure if he remembers anything like I do, I'm sure he's worse off.
Okay, let's get out of this room. Oh my God. The vibes are still...
They're very bad.
It stinks.
Horrible.
It stinks in here, really, truly. Okay, yeah.